Okay, welcome back. Welcome back. Did I say that right? Yeah, I think I did. There are no do-overs for this one. This is straight through. 1306. 1,306 days left until the next halving. Today was a pivotal day. The Fed has changed policy. They pivoted. And so this is very interesting. I was just thinking about this, talking to via chat to a friend of mine. The last time this happened is when they eased monetary policy, and that was during the previous halving. During that time. Oh boy, I have to take that later. But anyway, and during that time period, it seemed like everything went up, um, and I was definitely more greener during that time period in investing, and didn't see what was going to happen. Um, and then when the Fed restricted monetary policy and started raising rates, everything just started going south, like or at least in my portfolio. Um, didn't I wasn't able to pivot and find out what was the next leg up, and when I did, I was kind of reluctant to I had to read that. We were talking kind of got thrown off track, got something in the mix. But that monetary policy, once it got restricted, and I didn't do my due diligence and research to find out, where was the next way to go? Where was the money going? And so now I'm getting school 4 years later. Um, it's been a ride. So, what I wanted to say is what I was hanging on. Once I found out where to go, there was like some type of like an emotional attachment to these stocks, or more so at that time period than you know than I cared to for what I was in it for. I was in it to make money, and I got emotionally attached to a few. And in all essence, I did have a good hand anyway, and if I didn't touch anything, I would have been probably a lot better. Yeah, I definitely needed to trim certain companies, and I did do that. But that wasn't, that took a long time. Took a long time. So now I'm a little bit more refined than I was then. And I do got a long way to go to where I want to be at in this, this road to retiring early. And that's one of the important things, to have some goals of like, where am I going? So let me touch base on that a little bit. And I just kind of like started getting some direction on where to go in reference to crypto. Um, so that's something I picked up during that time period also. Um, Crypto. Bitcoin was hot, and everything we touched seemed to just go to the moon. But now this is a little bit different. I'm currently doing some DeFi on Meteora. It's a hell of an experience. I'll tell you that much. It's very interesting, and I can get back to that another time. But here's the plans of distribution, and I'm just starting with my bull run bag, and how it's getting funded. And I do have some notes, as you can see, plans and distribution. I have some funds in a very interesting pool, which is kind of like what, and the concept is based off of what Michael Saylor's done. So that's another video also in itself. And in the meantime, I'm going through the whole process of monitoring, and you know, going through that experience, and I can share that at a later date, which will be the later the better. So there's multiple things there. So, like as I said, the Fed has changed policy, and here's a new tool that I've added to my arsenal. And I will have to make sure that I'm reading it properly about the M2 money supply injection that takes place. As you can see, it was at this peak around, I guess in February of 2022. I bought my house around this the period, like around here, I would say, and the rates were really low, and I got the lowest ever in history at the particular point, and I got my home. And did I really know that? No, not necessarily until I was enlightened by the lender, and she was very nice. So, and then this is when the tightening, I do believe, began. So we were at our height, and then boom. And so now it's starting to, as you see, we get down to here. Well, we were at our height in 2021. That was awesome. So up here, 2022, and like once that, I think it happened. I don't know when policy shifted. It was like around here somewhere, and that's when it went to the peak, and then policy shifted again, and then like it starts going down, and now we're in the point that policy has shifted again, and now they are going to do some easing, and that's going to start the injection will start bringing us up. Now, if I'm reading that correctly, then like that's exactly what's happening. I just brought this up for this video, but from my understanding, from where other people I follow, that is kind of like how it goes, and that's kind of the tail of the tape with the money supply. So um, the markets seem to be enjoying a bit of that, and that's probably why. So there's more money that's going to be injected, and if the Fed changes policy and makes life a little bit more easier financially, then we go back to where we were in the pandemic, where money was, you know, kind of like everywhere in a sense, but this is a different everywhere. So the Fed is also focusing on bringing unemployment back because honestly, we are in a recession. If unemployment's up to like it's a little bit higher than it's supposed to be. So paying attention to these little details. Half the time we're in a recession in my life, and like here and there, maybe in like the 80s, and I didn't know it. I was a kid, and it didn't matter to me. During that time period, I never paid attention to stuff like that. A loaf of bread was probably like 75 cents or something like that during that time period. And even taking the bus or cigarettes, stuff like that were like was like relatively cheap. And then like as the years gone, it was just natural to see things go up. So didn't know to the reason why, and now I have a little bit of a idea of what's going on, just a little bit. I am not a professional in the slightest, and this is just a journal mainly for myself. Man, so yeah, I'm still doing that, still following this thing here. What a story I gotta tell about this one here, but that's another story. But anyway, let's check the price of Bitcoin just for relevance. We already went to having. I was just on the block, so that's gives you a good idea. And we're at 62 ish, and that's up definitely 3% from yesterday. So we don't know what will happen. And it is the 18th, and it's Wednesday, so we'll see. I think next week is going to be a big one. The market has to digest information and everything, and just you know, just register. There's going to be a lot of talking on social media, back and forth, and we'll see what happens. That's the only thing I can say. The next pivotal step it will be the election, and that's going to be the tail of the tape when it comes to this asset class, crypto, Bitcoin. So I think that's it right now. These things swing so violently. It's ridiculous. If you can just time, if you can't time, but the best for me, it's like the best signs to invest is like the fear meter, which I'm not going to get into that right now, and just knowing when it's going to, we could take a bet what the Fed was going to do. We all knew the Fed was going to change the policy, so now everything shifted, and That would have been a good bet. Take a good bet, put your money down, and bam, 20% in a heartbeat within a 24-hour period. And that's how quick you can make money in crypto, and that's definitely how quick you can lose it. So I can see why things are going the way they are. All right, so that was it for my little diary on my day off, and I got some other videos in the mix. I won't be sharing them, but I will. I'll just be putting them up on my channel. I'm not going to social media or anything like that. I always say that. Just trying to get a good rhythm before I start saying, "Hey, here I am," and let's get some discussion going on. Let's see what happens. All right, so on that note, buy some Bitcoin. So it's not financial. All right, bye.